Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As usual, I am your host, sellssi. 16 days to the Qatar 2022 World Cup. We're looking forward to it, and in about 16 days, we'll have our very first game at the tournament. Today in Parliament, the Minister of Youth and Sports broke down Ghana's expenditure ahead of the competition and benefits we would be gaining from participating in the Qatar 2022 World Cup. We'll have a listen to his breakdown of our expenditure at the tournament and what we stand to gain as we progress through. From what was read in Parliament today, it looks like the ministry have charged the boys to go as far as the semi-final. Quite interesting. We'll look at it and break it down for you. Nketiah has been slammed by some section of Arsenal fans after yesterday's 1-0 win in the Europa League final group game, and it was not a good night for Nketiah, who has come under the microscope of some of the fans of Arsenal. We're also going to talk about Kamaldeen Sulemannah, who suffered an injury in training 20 days to Ghana's first game in Qatar 2022. We'll see if that will affect his ability to participate in the World Cup itself. As usual, subscribe if you have not, click on the notification bell to get more updates. Before we look at Kamaldeen Sulemannah's injury and the slam that Nketiah has suffered, we'll look at Ghana's expenditure ahead of Qatar 2022. Today in Parliament, the Minister of Youth and Sports addressed the House and broke down what Ghana is going to gain and spend at Qatar 2022, after he came under a lot of scrutiny for making that statement about us not getting a budget. It seems like it's come to reason. The budget, this is what it looks like Ghana will be spending in Qatar and stand to gain. Let's have a listen to the minister.
Revenue generation and expected expenditure for Qatar 2022 World Cup. Mr. Speaker, having qualified for the tournament, the FA received $1.5 million from FIFA to augment the Black Star preparation, and this amount was useful to the team. Friendly matches to improve technical and managerial readiness for Qatar. Ghana will receive further $9 million for our group stages participation in the tournament, covering 3 games against Portugal, Uruguay, and South Korea. Our group stage appearance will cost us as a nation an estimated amount of $8,166,200 United States dollars, with our side firmly fixed on progressing throughout the knockout stages. And I'm delighted to give more good news. Mr. Speaker, progressing from the group stage to the round of 16th will increase Ghana prize money from $9 million to $13 million. At this stage, our expenditure is likely to increase to $8,792,600 United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, when we progress from the round of 16th to quarterfinals, the prize money will also increase from $13 million to $17 million. At this stage, our expenditure will also likely to increase from the $8,792,600 to $9,512,200 United States dollars. If we progress from the quarterfinals to the last 4, Ghana stands to receive $27 million United States dollars to $42 million US dollars. At this stage, we estimated a combined expenditure for the tournament at $14,184,100 United States dollars. This estimated expenditure include appearance fees, bonuses, per diem, flight arrangements, medical equipment, logistics, and hospitality. Mr. Speaker, whichever way we look at revenue and expenditure commitments for Qatar 2022, the benefits of playing in the World Cup far outweighs the expenditure, with several other unquantifiable benefits. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the entire country that in these difficult economic challenges that we face, every penny will be used judiciously, and we have agreed with the FA that we will maintain the compensation that is appearance fees, bonuses, as it was used in 2014 World Cup in Brazil.
So you saw the breakdown there, and maybe you didn't hear that part in this audio, but he talked about the fact that there'll be a delegation that will be sent in, and it will include local coaches as well. It's going to be an entourage, as you can see here on your screen. Coach Otuado will lead them. Chris Hughton on the list. Masudi Dramani, the four horsemen, as I used to call them. Richard Kingston, Henry Asante Chum, Daniel Yankee, equipment officer Sule Zampa, equipment officer Henry Mate, the team manager Samuel Ankoma, the masseur, Romeo Ricky Roy, the fitness coach, Prince Pambo, the team doctor, video analyst, Edward Champong, Benjamin Ngamri, who is a physiotherapist, Matthias Zackenberg, the athletic coach, Jose Martinez, match analyst, Sebastian Sommer, match analyst, Ibrahim Tanko, local coach, Prosper Nate Ogum, also a local coach, Samuel Buedu, a local coach, along with Ignatius Osei Fusu. So this is a part of the technical team that will go with Ghana into Qatar 2022. All 21 men will be in there. 4 local coaches will be joining the national team in Qatar. Let's break down what he said about Ghana and our participation, and what we stand to gain and what we will spend. Now, he broke it down into income and estimated expenditure. Now, for the group stages, Ghana is set to spend $8.1 million estimated group stage appearance fees. Now, for qualification to Qatar, FIFA have sent Ghana $1.5 million, and that is what we use to prepare for the international friendly games with Nicaragua and co. So that one has come in already, and Nicaragua and Brazil game, and also finally the Switzerland game, which will be played on November 17th. Those monies will be used for that. Now, for the group stage, FIFA will send an additional $9 million, totaling it to $10.5 million in total from FIFA in preparation for the World Cup. And looking at what we stand to spend and what we stand to gain, I think 8.1 million as expenditure seems to make sense. There'll be something left. Now, if we make it to the round of 16, it's estimated that we will spend $8.7 million, a round of 16 expenditure. And what we stand to gain by qualifying is $13 million. I think mathematically, if this is what they will follow, it makes sense. For the quarterfinals, 9.5 million, we'll stand to gain 17 million if we make it through to the quarterfinals. And from the semifinals, $14.1 million. What he said in the speech, but this is what is here presented to Parliament today concerning how much Ghana will spend and make at the World Cup. It makes sense. We hope this is what they follow. Sometimes we give out these ones and it comes back that we spent more than we budgeted for. Whatever it is, we hope that they stick to this budget and do the right thing. That is it with Ghana's expenditure and income in Qatar 2022, 16 days away. My next story has to do with Kamaldeen Sulemana. Unfortunate news coming from his hand. He has a doubt and could miss out on Qatar 2022. And now the Ghanaian suffered what appears to be a serious injury. 20 days to Ghana's first game. But those around him are hoping that it does not rule him out of the big tournament in Qatar. Now, Sulemana was left out of Rennes squad for Thursday's Europa League game against Larnaca. And now Sulemana, after the game, the head coach, Bruno Genesio, confirmed the Ghanaian was injured and expressed hope that the player will be fit for the World Cup. He had pain in his ankle yesterday. He was injured. I hope for him that he will be fine for the World Cup, he said. Sulemana is unlikely to play for Rennes again until after the World Cup, according to French journalist Thomas Rosoli, who was present at the post-match press conference. With how things are going, he might not be on the pitch for Rennes until after the World Cup, he said. Otuado named Sulemana in his provisional squad, but due to the latest setback, he may be left out to the final squad, which is due in 9 days. Unfortunate news there on the front of Kamaldeen Sulemana. Talking about injuries also, Son Heung-min A doubt for South Korea is no longer a doubt. He will play at the World Cup, but he will be wearing a mask after he suffered a fracture on his face. Now, the South Korean striker Son Heung-min could play at the World Cup with a mask after sustaining an injury on his eye. The forward got injured in the Champions League game against Marseille when he had a head-on collision with an opponent. Son Heung-min came off bad from the clash as he struggled to get on his feet after the clash. After careful examination by the medical team, the striker was substituted in the 29th minute. Tottenham confirmed on their official website on Wednesday evening that Son would need surgery after suffering a fracture around his left eye. The Spurs did not give the number of days the player might be out, but Son might have to play with a mask on should he decide to return to action anytime soon. Some South Korea fans have been left worried as their hero, who is the only Asian player to have won a Premier League Goal King boot, might not play in Qatar. It will be a big worry and a big blow for them if Son Heung-min is not in Qatar 2022. We hope he gets back on his feet. And the final story has to do with Eddie Nketiah and the slam he is getting after the Zurich display in the final group game of the Europa League. Arsenal have urged their team to loan out or release Eddie Nketiah after a dismal display in the 1-0 Europa League victory over FC Zurich. The 23-year-old Ghana prospect was handed a start by manager Mikel Arteta along Gabriel Jesus and Reece Nelson, but it was defender Kieran Tierney who scored via a thumping volley to hand the Gunners victory at the Emirates Stadium. And now Nketiah, who is among the players being chased by Ghana to switch nationality and play for the Black Stars, had two late chances to put the game to bed, but he failed to beat the keeper. Ahead of the 2022 World Cup, Ghana has already rebuilt their team with players from Europe, among them Tariq Lamptey, Iñaki Williams, Stefan Ambrosius. And Nketiah's display for the Gunners has elicited debate on social media, with a cross-section of fans labeling him an EFL championship material. Well, we'll leave that decision on who or where you think Eddie Nketiah should be playing next season, whether with the Gunners or not. Last night wasn't his night, but the slam coming in from social media is quite tough. So that has been it for today. The expenditure and income for the Ghana Black Stars ahead of Qatar 2022. The budget's read in Parliament today by the Minister. We've also been talking about Son Heung-min and Kamaldeen Sulemannah. Injury concerns for them. Son could be wearing a mask in Qatar. Kamaldeen could be out. Unfortunate news there. And Eddie Nketiah slammed by some fans of Arsenal. He should be out or released or sent on to the EFL. Your thoughts in the comments box on everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the weekend.